In my last video, I listed 3 main writing myths that I often hear used as an excuse for not writing that book that you've always wanted to write. And fear was number 2. I skimmed over some of the specific fears I hear the most, but there was one that I left off because I think it deserves a shout out all on its own. And that is the fear of being triggered by remembering or writing about past trauma. I'm not going to tell you that writing a book is therapeutic and will move you through trauma to a place of peace and healing. I will instead speak from experience and tell you that depending on what you write, you may uncover some wounds, trigger some very painful memories, and end up running to therapy. I mean, that's what happened to me. But I include mental health resources on my website for just that reason. Now, fortunately, what I was writing about was not, you can't really measure or compare trauma, I suppose. You can't give it a scale because it's going to be different for everybody. But I did write about situations that occurred in my life that were, for me, emotionally and mentally scarring, but I was able to work through them through my writing. Now, the trick that I use is that I fictionalize my trauma. In other words, I have a character to whom I give the situation to, and in telling their story, I'm able to work through and deal with that experience at somewhat of a distance. And that's what I'm wanting to talk to you about today. If you're being called to write about troubling topics from your life or from your family's history, I urge you not to let the fear of being triggered by that stop you. You can use writing as a way to distance yourself, like I said, from the emotional pain, because you're taking it out of your body, so to speak, and putting it on paper. And through that process, you're going to give yourself time and space to look just a little more objectively at the situations, at the experiences. You're going to be able to use a more discerning eye. And at that point, because you're telling this story, you're able to dissect those experiences. You're able to pull them apart and hopefully, again, from experience, hopefully, as I have done, discover some hidden information that actually helps you feel just a little bit of relief, helps you heal just a bit of that wound. In my case, I found a lot of self-compassion and was able to work through to a place of forgiveness in those situations. And that's definitely helped me on my healing journey. Did I still need therapy? Hell yeah. And I highly recommend that before and during this process, if you're going to write about triggering subjects, if you're going to write about painful past experiences, definitely have a therapist at the ready. Now, you may not need them, but be sure to have some safe place for you to go to process any of the deep emotional strain, feelings, and things that may come up. Now, I've had a couple of clients that I've worked with who have written from their past, who have written about their past. One client in particular wrote about some very traumatic experiences from her childhood. And while working with me, going through the Simply Self-Published process was not smooth by any stretch of the imagination, she was able to get through the process and complete her first book. I'll have links to her information. I'll have links to her books and things below. You can also find a testimonial from her on my website. But anyway, both of these clients were able to, with my help and because of the Simply Self-Published process, were able to work through those painful memories and get their books written and then published. Now, at this point, I do want to point out, it is not mandatory that the book you end up writing gets published. Nobody else has to see what you've written. In fact, at the end of it, you could very well take that manuscript and put it in a drawer and never even look at it again. Yes, the Simply Self-Published program is designed to end up, or for you to end up with a book that's ready to publish, but ultimately that's your decision to make. Self-publishing isn't the end-all be-all to telling your story. However, the online course and coaching group is a safe place where you can write your book in community with others who may be going through very similar circumstances, who may be having the same struggles in getting their story written as you are. So yeah, while you may not publish the book you write, at the very least, having gone through the Simply Self-Published online course and coaching group, you'll have completed an important part of your healing journey. You'll have finally written that book that you've said you've always wanted to write. And that, again, from personal experience, is a feeling of satisfaction and release that you wouldn't believe. So that's all I have for you today. As always, please leave any lingering questions or concerns that you have in the comments below. Of course, like and share this video with anyone you think might be interested. And lastly, registration for Simply Self-Published is open until 11:59 p.m. this coming Friday, September 23rd. Of course, link is in the description box below. Go ahead and click that to reserve your spot. We're going to get started that first Wednesday in October. All right, that's going to do it for today. Take care, you guys, for real, and I'll see you in my next video.